Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're revisiting a pen that captured my heart and led me on an exploration journey of Japan's incredibly rich and diverse cultural history. The Namiki Yukari Herb Decoration. 2 years ago I did a review on this pen and it quickly became a #1 pen in my collection. But does this fountain pen remain a grail within my collection? Today we will explore if the Yukari Herb Decoration still holds up after 2 years of use. We will also partly explore whether grail pens are just merely a niche, or do they leave a everlasting sense of satisfaction. Okay, let's start off with the nib, because let's face it, writing is the most important aspect of any fountain pen. So this is one of the smoothest and most precise nibs I've ever used. It lays down ink flawlessly, with absolutely no skipping or hard starts. The pen starts up first time after prolonged periods of no use. Every stroke feels consistent, as a sense of connection between me and the paper. It's like my thoughts are flowing directly from my mind through the nib and onto the page. The performance is truly exceptional. It absolutely elevates the entire writing experience. Now, whether you're jotting down quick notes or crafting a longer letter, this nib does keep up with greater ease and ensures a smooth and enjoyable writing experience. I suppose my only criticism would be that Namiki's range of nibs is quite meagre. They have fine, medium and broad. There's no exciting stub nibs or any of the other nibs which come from Pilot's prestige of nib manufacturing. There's no Falcon nib. And I think this is a missed opportunity, especially on pens which can, cost in the region of £10,000. Okay, so now let's have a look at some of the design aspects of the pen and take a bit of a deeper delve into this quite stunning pen. Now, some pen purists may be put off by the Yukari Herb Decoration's use of partial machine manufacturing, especially for the placement of design on the barrel. This pen's heavy price tag of £1,600 in Europe. I'll discuss a little bit more about that later. And I feel that this could be potentially one of the shortcomings for the fountain pen. Now, we must take into consideration Namiki's large-scale operations. Trying to achieve consistency likely necessitates in modern manufacturing techniques. Unfortunately, the marketing doesn't really mention this. Initially, having spent a significant amount of money on this pen, believing it was entirely hand-painted, I did feel a little bit misled. However, over time, I've come to accept this reality. Why? So, as mentioned earlier, Pilot operates on a massive scale, and Namiki's position as the leading Nakaya fountain pen brand creates a significant demand to the manufacturing gap, and that really does necessitate this kind of approach. Now, there are elements in which the human hand has had intervention. The Tokudashi Makie in the background and the Raden placement are all done by hand, and I believe the outlining of all the plants and general finishing is also done by hand. Now, there will be some people out there who will enjoy this pen from its aesthetical qualities. The pen is undeniably beautiful, and we're just going to talk a little bit more about that in depth. Now, the overall aesthetics of this pen is just classic. It does harken back to the early days of Namiki's collaborations with Dunhill. The designs are timeless, and it has this certain elegance that I just simply adore. But what really truly elevates this pen for me is the emotional connection I have with it. The herbal theme evokes a sense of nature, and using this pen makes me feel grounded and more connected to the outdoors. It's a feeling that's hard to describe, but it is incredibly special. The various techniques which adorn this pen are beautiful, irrespective of how the pen has been produced. The gold powders in the background and the touches of glimmering abalone really help make this pen sing. There's just so many subtle elements in this pen that really just makes this pen a pleasure to look at. I also want to mention the fact that I love how the designs on the cap and barrel are just beautifully placed. The composition of the pen just gives you something to have a look at as you spin the barrel. It really is a tour de force for the eyes. Okay, so now let's move on to one of the, I would say, points of consideration before considering buying a pen like this, and that is the pricing. So let's address the elephant in the room, the price. Yeah, there's a significant price difference between what you pay in Japan and what you pay in Europe. This can be a major drawback for some collectors. Having had a response from Pilot Pens, we've been told that overseas shippings, import tax and administration fees are things we have to take into perspective. I'm sure these do contribute to the pricing by a significant amount. However, these prices can be 50% at times, which would make a £10,000 pen a £5,000 pen. So yeah, I'll leave that to simmer in your mind. I'd be also very curious to your thoughts on this comment. Do you feel Pilot Namiki could do more to help ease the pricing for us in the West? After all, we've seen this price disparity between Pelican in the States and Europe. Is this fair? I'll let you decide that down in the comment section below. Now to conclude, 2 years later, is the Namiki Yukari Herb Decoration still GRAIL worthy? Now, despite the negative aspects of the screen printed elements, I do feel that this pen has provided me with a lot of joy. Would I buy this pen again, knowing what I do today? Now that's a tough question to answer. In the beginning of the video we alluded to, are GRAIL pens worth it? And what do we actually mean by GRAIL pens? So over my 4 years of collecting, one buzzword that has been thrown around is GRAIL, and by its very definition, it can be defined as the ultimate goal or reward. Do we ever stop collecting at one GRAIL pen? Usually no. So therefore, do we use this term too liberally? In some ways, yes. Perhaps maybe milestone pens could be a better definition, as these really do shape the paths in our life and in our collecting. So if we take it from that perspective, yes, I would say the Namiki Yukari Herb Decoration is certainly a milestone pen. Is it a pen to stop collecting altogether? Absolutely not, no. I have gone and bought many pens since the Herb Decoration, and I have thoroughly enjoyed the journey for it. I don't know necessarily whether I would have explored Nakaya Japan's culture to the depths which I have today had it not been for this pen. And as someone who enjoys symbolism in artwork, I feel this pen resonates with me. And I love how Japan symbolises art through this ancient technique of makie design. So yes, this pen has led me on many paths ever since. I've discovered ukiyo-e prints, which is basically Japanese woodblock printing. I've discovered so much more about Japan through this pen, which perhaps had I not bought this pen, I may have not taken that level of exploration. Anyway, that really brings it towards the end of today's content. I hope you've enjoyed this short insight into this 2-year pen perspective, and I would gladly, again, welcome any comments in the section below. Are there pens in your collection which have changed your direction? Any milestone pens which you would like to mention? Please, again, just leave them down in the comment section below. And that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all the usual jazz. So until next time, stay safe and goodbye for now.